In other news, the boss of Telegram, Pavel Durov, could be held in police custody until tomorrow after French prosecutors granted extra time to question the Russian-born billionaire. He faces 12 charges linked to child sex abuse, drug trafficking, and fraudulent transactions on Telegram. President Emmanuel Macron, though, has said that his detention is in no way political. Well, let's talk a bit more about that with our tech editor, Julia Seeger, who's with me in the studio. And Julia, first of all, there's been quite a bit of reaction, hasn't there? Political reaction, but also from the tech sector.
Exactly. Well, as you said, the French president tweeted yesterday saying that there's absolutely nothing political about this arrest that is happening as part of an ongoing judicial investigation, and it's now up to judges to rule. Now, he added in his tweet that France is more than ever attached to freedom of expression, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Now, here he's really trying to reassure, he's talking to the world, he's probably talking to other tech tycoons who often invest in France as well. Why? Because this arrest was shocking. It was sudden. It was unexpected, at least for any commentators here in Europe. Pavel Durov is being arrested for things for which other CEOs of platforms such as Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk could also be arrested for, or at least could be accused of. Because let's be real, they all have the same moderation issues. What's adding to the confusion is that the only information that's been made available in public since he was arrested is this list of offenses in which the prosecutor cites 12 offenses in a jumble, ranging from complicity in the possession of child pornography images to laundering to organized crime with no other information. And so in this ambiguous context, of course, there's a lot of speculation. It's almost taking a geopolitical turn. Emmanuel Macron is trying to answer tweets from Elon Musk asking whether or not there's still freedom of expression in France. Also, tweets coming from Edward Snowden, who's directly accusing him of orchestrating this arrest to collect sensitive information. And the Kremlin, who also said that they're waiting to have a little bit more information, official information from the judiciary, but that the French judiciary better have proof of what they're advancing, and they better not be intimidating him. Now, the president of the lower house of the Russian parliament also believes, he says that actually the U.S. could be behind this, pushing France to do so ahead of the U.S. election to put a little bit more pressure on Telegram. So you can see that the situation is very ambiguous. There's lots of theories being thrown a little bit all over the internet. There's a lot of elements to factor in. And this is why the situation is so complex. There's the nationalities of Pavel Durov, the role that Telegram is playing in certain conflicts, the fact that Pavel Durov has this very ambiguous relationship with platforms in the U.S. as well. So this is making everything very complicated, and I'm not even sure we'll ever get to the bottom of this story, but as a reminder, what he's being accused of is really of not moderating his platform enough and also of not collaborating with authorities. And so you have to understand that the rationale of the French judge today is to say that this lack of collaboration and moderation is enough, is sufficient to making an accomplice in those offenses and crimes that are happening on his platform.
Right, and that interpretation by the judge is one of the reasons why the holding of Durov for many is rather controversial.
Exactly. It's that logic that's being called into question. Telegram saying that it's absurd to say that the platform or the boss could be held responsible. Telegram also saying in their tweet right after the arrest that they are compliant to EU laws. So why are they talking about these EU laws? Because actually when the arrest happened, everybody, all the commentator, every onlooker thought immediately that it was linked to the fact that Telegram was perhaps not compliant with the Digital Services Act, which is a law that was implemented in Europe to try to force platforms to moderate their platform and to give the tools to users to be able to flag illegal content. It happened, everybody thought of that as well because there's another investigation targeting X to see if they are compliant to that law, and if they aren't, they will be fined. But the thing is, several days ago, speaking to Euronews colleagues, the Commission spokesperson said, no, actually, you can't use the DSA because it doesn't define what is illegal. That means that you can't invoke that law to make an arrest. So what's happening is that the European Union is also distancing themselves from this arrest.
Right, so the European Union being pretty clear that actually they have nothing to do with this.
Right, well, that's actually what we're told. Once again, there's a lot of elements. I don't know if we'll get to the bottom of it, but what we're hearing more and more here in France is that from lawyers and legal experts is that perhaps another possibility is that French authorities are simply being overzealous here. They're perhaps in over their heads and with a dangerous bet because the procedure seems to be fragile. You're going to have to establish the responsibility of the CEO of Telegram, and that means the interception of communications, which, if you want to be able to use them, must have happened on French soil. And when it comes to Telegram, nothing is French, including their servers.
All right, fascinating. Thanks very much. Julia Seeger for us there.